Hello everybody, this is Havin and today we are going to teach you how to get to Minmus, and maybe probably back, but we'll see if we have enough fuel for that. It is not a hard challenge, it is actually very easy once you are shown how to do it. So we start as always to build a launcher. You do not need a whole heck of a lot of things to land on Minmus. Alright, we're not going to do anything fancy with the rocket design, we are only building simple lander. We use these little engines and then big engine in middle, and that is your lander craft right there. Or maybe not, hold on, let's for the uninitiated, mostly me, we're going to want aces. Alright, and you know what else we will want, because we're going to come back afterwards. We're going to throw some parachutes on this thing, get some of these radial parachutes, jump 3 of them on there. Alright, so now we have our lander vessel. This is what will actually land on Minmus, which means it needs some legs, and we just throw them on the outside of the engines here, and that is good enough. Maybe lower them a little bit, because that big engine is very low. Maybe lower them a little bit more, as low as you can possibly get them. Alright, so that is good to go. Now we need to build launch stage to get it actually into space. So with our decoupler, let's lift this up a little bit. We're building simple orange launcher with big tank, big engine, that is the mainsail. Then we take some of these structures, we go as many of these as we can go, which is 8. Throw them on there. Get some solid rocket booster. They don't always want to attach, so if they get to the point where they will not attach, take this, you turn symmetry off, you just plug one in anywhere, throw a solid rocket booster on it, then you pull it off, and then you turn your symmetry on. And there you go, like magic, and we'll put them as low as possible. We want to tie them together with some struts. And since we have symmetry on, we only need to plug 2, one top, one bottom. We'll throw some clamps on to make sure it launches okay. And that's it right there. That is everything you need to make launch and get to Minmus. Make sure all our stage is right, and we did not have to play with staging at all. It should all go as planned. One thing we are going to do to make easier is this is the mainsail engine, this stage 2. We're going to pull it down to 3, so when we detach these, the new engine starts, okay? So we're going to name it, we will call it the Minmus, and we will save and launch. And okay, we're here at the launch pad, and get all our window up, go to map mode, get this up and going. Real simple, throttle up. You don't even really have to throttle up, because these are SRBs, they burn however they burn. But we want to make sure our throttle is up for when we switch over to main engine, so that we don't have to think about it too much. So now that that's good, you hit your T button to turn on your aces, and launch. It's going to go pretty much straight up. A lot of people knock SRBs, they're really pretty good and simple. And we use them now because I did not want to get into complexity of asparagus stage. If you know about asparagus stage, by all means use it. It is very efficient, it is much better than SRB in many ways. It is more expensive, so if you have lots of money, that's what you want to do. But this is just to show everybody how to get to Minmus and how easy it possibly can be. And I didn't want to throw in crazy, rocket design things you had to learn at the same time, so this is just to get to Minmus. And I could have started it in orbit, just as easily, but this way you have a rocket to take with you if you are having trouble on your own. You cannot blame, well, my rocket is not like your rocket, Havin, how can I get it to Minmus now? Show me how to get my rocket to Minmus. Which is kind of a whiny baby thing to say, okay? Especially when you say it like I just said it. But I did not do that to insult you, that was a proving point. So 10,000 meters we make gravity turn. You know all these, right? You've been to Moon, you've been to Hard Rock Cafe on Edge of Universe. Restaurant there. See Hot Black Desiato. Alright. Is it too soon? I think he's dead, isn't he? Alright. So we're going to launch to orbit. we are making the orbits. So since we are not doing anything while in orbit, that is from previous challenge. If we are not doing anything at orbit, we are not docking anything, we are not doing any scientific experiments, we can go to pretty low orbit. We'll go to about 70,000 meters. That is nice minimum where we can use time warp. Until that gets up to 50 and then we can do some maneuvering. Start pointing towards the horizon to make a level trajectory. Okay. And we ran out of fuel a little earlier than I would have liked. But that's okay, we still keep going. Come on, there we go. We have plenty of fuel to get to Minmus. It does not take a lot to land. So do not be whiny, baby. That is close enough to 70,000. Let's get a little further up there with physical time warp. We've got all the power we need to burn at apoapsis, so we will get real close, kind of. About 20 seconds out. Get right in there. And we'll give ourselves a nice stable orbit. I don't think we're coming back from Minmus, probably. So, Jebediah, hope you like Minmus. Alright, we have stable-ish orbit. So now big thing to do is we zoom out from map view, we select Minmus as our target. Where's that thing going? Oh, that thing's never coming back. Alright, so now we have Minmus is at inclined orbit, but with use of maneuver node it is very easy to match its orbit. We are heading this way around the orbital path, so we just click at next point where this descending node line comes in. We want to try and get exactly on it if we can. So we click it and hit add maneuver. Now we look at this descending node button, okay, and it says we are minus 5.6 degrees, so we want to lift up to get it closer to 0 with this purple triangle, and we just keep checking it. 1.7, 1.0, 0.5, 0.3, 0.2, 0.2, 0.1, 0 point blast off? No. Okay, 0.0. So that is perfect. So now we look at here, we have 10 minutes 59 seconds. So we need to find the blue marker. Where is our, what you call it, your maneuver node vector? And we're going to point right at it. Now it says 8-second burn. Now this is, pardon my language, this is nonsense, because we're not burning 250 meters per second in 8 seconds. So you give it a little bit of a burn to see it to recalculate, get 17 seconds. Usually that is enough for accuracy, but oftentimes it is not. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to accelerate time till we get to it, or get close enough to it. And we're about 39 seconds. That's about right, because we want to burn half here and half there. So going by this number, it would be t-minus 9 seconds, but I think it didn't get a good flash point. So at about 20 seconds, I think we're going to try a maximum burn and see what's happened. And this is just to fix our orbit. This will do nothing else. You see it recalculate a little bit. It's not a big deal. I like to chase this marker around. A lot of people will call it good right there, but I like perfection. Okay? Not the knockoff version aggravation, and I burned way too far because I was making a joke about board game. First you'll put it into the slot, make the right something something. Want to be quick, you're racing a clock. And I forget the rest. Alright, so not the important part. I think important part was up to there. So let's delete this maneuver node, and then we will find Minmus. Okay, Minmus is right there. It is going counterclockwise like everything. So it is hitting this direction. So we want to intercept it somewhere around there. It's not going very fast. Okay, it's going like yeah, 274 meters per second. So really, we need to burn sooner than we had. So the burn is behind us. We had the maneuver. And just pull it forward, prograde, until you start seeing it hit things. But, okay, that is weird. I don't know even now we had little moon periapsis on the way back. Sometimes that happens, it is not to worry. Push it out until it is right there, where it meets Minmus. And you see, this is just like any other kind of rendezvous. It's the closest approach. When you are there, it is over there. So we need to burn a little bit later. So we're going to drag this maneuver point over to where it looks about right. Okay, push it out. And look at that, we got Minmus encounter at 866 meters. We want to try and get it as close as possible. So 316,000, 152,000, 47,000. That is very nice. So, in 30 minutes we'll make that burn. Let's go ahead and try and find the blue mark, and we'll point at it. Okay, hit our computer, and then time warp again. Very long process. You see, we are already flight 20 minutes, with 20 more minutes to go. And once we get there, it'll be 2 days to get there. Alright, it says it burned 36 seconds. I tell you right now, this is nonsense. Once we get a little bit closer, then we will start thinking about trying to recalculate that. Okay, so we're 4 minutes out. I think it's going to be a very long burn. So what we're going to do, like we did before, point right at it and then do one of these. It's still saying 40-second burn, so I guess we'll just go ahead and roll with it. And we want to do 20 seconds on this side of the maneuver node, 20 seconds on the other side. Alright, so we're just pointing at this blue mark and waiting for 20 seconds to come on here. And then we accelerate. Start off real slow and then it just starts zipping out. So you want to be careful. You want to watch this meter, but also you want to watch this meter and be prepared to slow down and stop. Okay, so the yellow light. We are constantly adjusting our whatever you call it. Just kind of slowly finesse these. Okay, so that's good. Let's delete this maneuver node and see what we ended up with. And we're not quite kissing it like we're supposed to be. And that is not uncommon, but we know we were just burning prograde anyway, right? So we're going to go ahead and line ourselves up with prograde vector. Okay, and just very lightly tap it. I tapped it a little too unlightly, so it went too far. But honestly, what you do is just hit Shift and X super quickly, okay, when you're in that position. And you can do that multiple times to get where you're going. What I did was I hit Shift and then left it for a second because I was trying to show off like tough guy. But no big worries. So look at this. We're coming right at it. We're gonna have moon periapsis, 243,000 meters. That is great. So we just go ahead time warp. Time warp pretty fast, but don't overshoot, okay? You certainly do not want to do this in real time. because in real time it will take several days, as we have discussed. And as you get out, you actually start traveling slower, which is counterintuitive, right? Because right now we are barely moving at all. Look at this. 60 meters per second we are moving. That is like nothing. Alright, what we're going to watch in 2 hours, we will be on Minmus encounter. And this is hard part right here. I mean, you know, what hard part? Getting this far. Because once you get here, it's the same as Moon or Kerbin or any other planet you wanted to go to. Inclined orbit is very easy with maneuver node, okay? Before maneuver node, I do not know how people did it. They had to eyeball, and I tried that. That is kind of hard. You do it eventually, you know, guess and check method, which really is Kerbal space program. Okay, so we made the changeover. We are now in Minmus capture. We got nice low periapsis. I mean, not super low. It is a very small planet. 244 on Kerbin would be pretty low. This, I guess, is pretty high. But we will just accelerate to get too close to periapsis. Okay, I overshot it a little bit. It's no big deal. We're going to go ahead and point to retrograde. I mean, that is danger of time warp. You always, because you want everything now. Okay, instant gratification culture, you know that. Alright, so we're just burning retrograde to lower our orbit. And right there, see, we are falling downwards. Alright, we're going to land on dark side of Minmus, which is less than ideal. Let's go ahead and spin around a little bit. I want to land on light side of Minmus, so you can see Minmus, okay? And see that it is beautiful and lovely. So we're wasting fuel here to lift up our orbit a little bit. We're just going to time warp until we get to other side of Minmus, because it will take us several hours. And we're already 2 days into mission. Alright, so make sure you pack them a nice steak lunch. Okay, now that we are on bright side of Minmus, let's look at Minmus out the window, okay? Look at it, look at its low-res surface. That is kind of ridiculous. But go a little bit further, so we are a nice light patch. And now we're going to do that thing we were going to do before, where we just burn retrograde to reduce our speed. And we want to fall basically straight down. We're killing off all of this horizontal momentum. And now we're basically fall straight down. Okay, we are 17,000 meters above surface of Minmus. So look in cockpit to make sure that we are mostly accurate. I do not know how high the mountains go up on Minmus, so we need to be vigilant of that. So we'll go ahead, we'll time warp again to get a little bit lower, till it starts to look like maybe we should be scared. Alright, and let's go to set 9,000 meters. We are still falling very slowly. That is a great thing about Minmus. It is very easy to land on. And we will go to cockpit and look at radar, and we are still above 30,000 meter. So what we'll do now is we'll check our landing gear, hit gear button, which is button G, and our gear falls out, and it looks like it will extend lower than engine. So we are good to go. And basically we just fall. That is all there is to it. If you're on Moon right now, this is the point where you start to panic, because at 6,000 meters landing on Moon, you know, you're falling lots faster than this, and if you're not accelerating, if you're not doing powered landing, then you are still falling lots faster than this. So let's look again at the radar. See that we're still above 3,000 meters. Alright, we're going to go ahead, do a little bit of a burn to slow down. Okay, we are below 3,000 meters now, so we'll decelerate to about 50 meters per second. Okay, radar shows us about 1,000 meters up, so we will land about 20 seconds. Alright, we are going to again accelerate, or decelerate I should say. By putting our propulsion on, we want to burn towards retrograde to eliminate horizontal velocity. ourselves pointed upwards. Okay, we are very close to ground now. Just like landing anywhere else. Want to kill off our momentum here. There we have nice soft land. Alright, so we'll land on Minmus. As you see, it is very not gravity-like. So let's go ahead and get out. Just let go. This guy can fly around to the surface here. Okay. Turn off his rocket pack and let's jump. And he just keep going up. Okay. And he might go for quite a while. I wonder what his apoapsis was. Well, we won't worry about that right now. So, we get back in craft. We'll let you do that when you get there on your own. You can look at playing around with EVA. So he's back in the craft. We wanted to now go home. So here we go. We'll just zoom out till we see the ring. And we see now that we're going from right to left. This is a retro orbit of Minmus, and that's where we want to burn towards. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, launch first straight up. And don't really need to do that for too terribly long. Okay. Now when we get to top of apoapsis, use time warp to get to top of apoapsis. Alright, now we're going to burn towards 90 degrees. Once we get sufficiently high enough. So about 10,000 meters. Okay, I didn't quite make that. Then we just burn towards 90 degrees. There we go. Okay, I did that terribly wrongly, but you see what I was getting at. We want to burn just to break Minmus orbit, and then we just keep burning until we get these periapsis on Kerbin as low as possible. Always burning towards the back of Minmus, towards 90 degrees. Okay, there you go. We're doing pretty good. So give it a little bit more, see how far down low we can bring it. Because right now we are in moon orbit. We still got plenty of fuel, there's no reason to be worried. Bring it down as much as possible. Go to 3 million. Getting satisfactory result now. So let's go ahead and just time warp until we are in we are out of Minmus SOI. And like with all transitions, we want to stop time warp right before we hit it, so that we can cross over one for one. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Alright, and now we are close to our apoapsis. There we go. We're heading downwards, I believe. No, we're heading upwards, so we are climbing. When we get close to there, we're going to burn prograde to lower our periapsis. Don't have a lot of fuel left, but we have more than enough to lower that down to nothing. Alright, so now we are falling towards Kerbin. We hit the time warp again. Very slow, move very fast, and let's just go back to Kerbin where things is spinning around very fast. This is our space station core from earlier challenge. There's apparently no other space activity going on, and now we are falling into Kerbin. So we're going very fast. I've had bad experience hitting Kerbin atmosphere this fast in the past. So what we will do is we will use the last of what we have for fuel to slow ourselves down. That is not so terrible speed. Alright, and now we are hit time warp again. Just until we hit 100,000 meters, and then time warp turns off automatically. And now we are starting to hit atmosphere. And the atmosphere will make us catch fire, and it will make us slow down as well, and that is what we are more concerned with. Okay, look at all the fire we are hitting, and that fire is slowing us down. But we're still falling very quickly. Alright. Try and turn this craft so that we are facing away from the ground when our parachute deploy. Alright. Want to slow down as much as possible. You do not want to eject parachute when you are moving several thousand milliseconds per second. Let's go ahead and we will deploy it right now. And it will catch. And we will fall slowly towards the ground. Do a nice safe land, and then when the parachute unfurl we lose the rest of our craft, no big deal. It falls safely into water, and then this guy Jebediah Kerbin, hero to all Kerbin maniacs, is that what they are called, becomes first Kerbin to land on Moon, or Minmus, walk on Minmus, and return safely home to the place that he came from originally, wherever that might be. I think maybe it is Prague. Alright, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you learn how to make Minmus space now, and land and come home safe. But if you have not, watched the video again, maybe it'll take this time. If not, I guess call a friend. Alright, thank you very much.